Now, we're going to look at diabetes and cataract. So cataract is it's common all over the world, and it affects people with diabetes. So if you're diabetic, yes, you will develop cataract. And you might develop it a lot faster than persons without diabetes, right? So just a little tidbit of information on it. Cataract is a clouding of the lens in the eye that affects your vision. Symptoms that occur can indicate, so these are the symptoms. So normally we look for, when persons come in, they say, Doc, my vision foggy, so foggy vision, or fading color. So like if you're looking at a color, let's say you're looking at the blue color there, it will not look blue to a person on cataract, it might look white, because they're unable to see color correctly, right? And they might have poor vision at night or double vision. So depending on where the cataract is located on your eyes, you'll see that you might be seeing two things instead of one. Normally, the treatment as it relates to cataract would be wearing prescription glasses. So depending on the size of your cataract, we'll normally tell patients that, okay, your cataract is not ready for surgery. So you can wear prescription glasses in the meantime to help you to see a little bit better. So we brighten the vision, and it will prevent the excessive glare of light, because persons with cataract, they don't work well with light. Excessive bright light, they don't work well with it. So those are treatments that you can use in the interim, glasses, prescription glasses, or when it reaches a very mature or dense stage, you'd have to do surgery. And normally with surgery, they replace the lens. So that lens that God has blessed us with, they're just going to replace it with a plastic lens. Right, so how does it affect glaucoma? And listen up, glaucoma is a silent thief. So it's a silent thief of your vision. So it's a little bit more serious than cataract. Cataract is something that once you do surgery safely, once surgery is done safely, the patient can be okay, they wear glasses and they're fine. But for glaucoma, you could be here today seeing well, and by tomorrow you can be blind. So how does it affect us now? At first, glaucoma has no symptoms. And if left untreated, vision loss or blindness can occur. Glaucoma is a group of disease that can damage the optic nerve, as I said before, and result in vision loss and blindness. Alright, so glaucoma. Are you guys okay? You're not follow?
Yes. We are following.
Alright, so glaucoma may be caused by an increase in eye pressure, so just like when you have blood pressure, you have pressure for the eyes, right? And it normally affects African Americans age 40 and older, everyone over age 60, especially Hispanics and Latinos, people with family history of glaucoma. So if somebody in your family, if a great-grand or grandparent or your mother, your father, if any one of them have glaucoma, there's a possibility that you can develop it later on in life, right? It's like the family likes to just roll together. This is one part of the family tree that you would not want to be a part of, right? So people with diabetes are at increased risk for aggressive glaucoma. And reason being is that normally when the sugar fluctuates, this minute the sugar is controlled and the next minute is uncontrolled, it builds up that pressure in the eye and it starts to affect the optic nerve. So we cause swelling of the optic nerve, and then that's where, bam, you realize that you might have some trace of glaucoma. So normally when a person comes in for a screening, and we take a look at the optic nerve and we see it. If the optic nerve looks a little bit unhealthy, we normally refer them to go and check to see if they have glaucoma. We don't just say, okay, bam, you have glaucoma. Because there's a series of tests that you have to do to find out if this person has glaucoma or not. But normally the first indicator would be if the optic nerve looks a little bit unhealthy or a little bit too big than its normal size. And in the family history, the history that will normally take, if the person had somebody in their family that might have had it, this would also be an indicator in our findings as well. So, alright, so people may realize that they have glaucoma until the disease is advanced. Right, so don't wait till your eyes get really bad for you to take control and to go to your general practitioner or any healthcare provider to get your eyes checked on. A lot of us are here and we don't know what is happening to us, we don't know our family history. So if you're having any eye problem, especially when you're diabetic, it is very key for you to go and get your eyes screened, right? Alright, so how can we reduce the risk? But before we reduce the risk, let us identify what the risks are. So for persons who smoke, smoking is not good for the eyes, especially when you're diabetic, or even if you have any form of disease or any autoimmune disease, it is not good in general, because it does affect the vessels in the eyes, right? Another indicator, another risk factor would be high blood pressure. So high blood pressure and blood sugar, which is diabetes, it works hand in hand. They walk in pairs. So them pairs, so one not leave without the other, right? So high blood pressure is also a risk factor, as well as high cholesterol. So persons who realize that when they go to the doctor, they find out that, oh, they're diabetic, they have hypertension, which is high blood pressure, they have high cholesterol. It's as if, I would even say it's a double whammy, it's a triple whammy. You get a combo, and that's not good. And then to add on it, if a person smokes, that's even worse, right? Another risk factor is when the person decides not to take their medication. So a person going to the doctor, find out that they're diabetic, that put them on some medication. Doc, you know I don't like the medication, and they stop taking the medication. That's not good, because you're already in a compromised state where your body cannot break down sugar efficiently. So the medication will help, right, along with other health practices. Now, how can we reduce these risks? Have a dilated eye examination done. So a dilated eye examination is basically just an examination where they will put some drops in the eyes, and then after the drops has dilated the eyes, the doctor will take a look at the back of the eye just to see if the sugar is causing any damage. So this exam is done once every year. So you do it one time per year, right? Take your medications. And I stress it again. Always take your medication and take it on time, right? Reach and maintain a healthy weight. So you see, diet and exercise is very important. A lot of us neglect the fact that, okay, I'm on the medication, so it don't work. That no, you have to ensure that you're maintaining an optimal weight based on your height and your body size, and you're being active, you're exercising, right? Add more physical activity to your daily routine. Give me an example with this. I had a patient come in one time and she said, oh, doc, you know, say, I always walk and do gardening. That is good. Walking and gardening is good. However, because you're doing the same thing over and over, it's not really challenging your body. So what we mean by exercising, we mean like actually moving the body. 30 minutes of brisk walking. We're not recommending that all diabetic persons will do brisk walking, because some of them have poor circulation. But there are exercises that are catered to diabetic persons that they can partake in. For example, an exercise seated. I don't know if you can see from her. Right. So we have seated exercises, right? have your dumbbells, you're moving up and down, reaching the arms up and down, you're moving, flexing the foot up and down, to the side, and you can even do, what you call it again, tricep dips, right? So it's just effective as any other exercises that there is, right? It does not take away from the fact that you're not putting in enough work, right? So, another way to reduce it, stop smoking. So that's a very key indicator. Smoking is not good. And smoking ages the eyes. So as much as you look nice and pretty now, you not age nice and beautifully, when you look inside of the eye, it don't look so beautiful. So you have to ensure that smoking is a no-no. I had a little video, it's by the Ministry of Health, and it's a little exercise video. It's called Love Your Body, Treat Your Body Right. So you see the people dancing and they're moving, but unfortunately we can't play it today. So we can?
If you can sing and dance.
Oh yes. Alright, so it goes like this, is like they go like love your body, treat your body right. Love your body, treat your body. So it allows it to move, you know, push it, see? Should we do it? Yes, just like that. No. Yeah, man, it's a nice video. So you can go and look it up on YouTube. So it's a video by Ministry of Health. So you start with the love, your body, and then you treat your body right. Right? So love your body, treat your body right. So like that. Alright. So let's kind of divulge into the screening process. Right? Why are regular eye examination and screening tests important? So if your diabetes is well controlled, you are less likely to have problems. So I repeat, if your diabetes is well controlled, you are less likely to have problems, right? And in controlling your diabetes, remember the ABCs, or remember the steps. Medication, good diet, exercise. So those three work hand in hand. So it can't be medication only. It would have to be medication, diet, and exercise, right? So, however, some people with diabetes do have serious sight loss because of their retinopathy. And an annual screening for most of the eye problem caused by diabetes can be treated, but it is vital that these people are picked up early. So screening helps to reduce the risk. So screening is an early indicator of what is happening at the back of the eye, right? So we don't want you to walk around and say, yeah man, that my healthy man, alright. But you don't know what is happening in your eyes because it's not something that you'll feel, you won't feel it. But you might have a first-hand experience with it when you see your vision is changing. So like you will be seeing normal today and then by tomorrow you see that you have spots in your vision or things floating around in your vision, right? Alright, so retinal screening must be done every year, and a dilated eye examination performed by an eye care professional is done to check for signs for diabetic retinopathy or diabetic eye disease. Right? Alright, so with the dilated eye examination, don't wait for symptoms to see an eye care professional. So I don't want the person to sit down, wait till their eyes get bad, and that's when they start to panic and decide that they're going to go to a doctor to get it checked. No, it's something that you have to do every year for the rest of your life. I know it sounds a bit daunting, but it's just something that needs to be done. Right? Alright, so let's kind of identify the various types of eye care professionals that you can go to for advice or as it relates to screening. Right. So, and after this we'll just wrap up. So the eye health team, people with diabetes can protect their vision. Health professionals who are part of an eye health team include a certified diabetic educator, a health promoter, a nurse, an ophthalmologist, an optometrist, a pharmacist, a primary care provider, which is normally your family doctor, right? Or a social worker. So these persons are persons that you can go to if you're having any concerns with your eyes or if your vision are changing. These are the healthcare professionals that you'll seek for help or advice. Alright, so just to wrap up, just a small review. So remember, key things to take away. Have an eye examination done once a year. Get your eyes tested. If you find out that you have cataracts on the eye, when testing for glasses, you might have to test it every 1 year instead of 2 years, right? Remember to diet and exercise. Remember not to smoke. Remember to keep your blood sugar level at a normal range. And when we say normal range, it's between 4 and 7. Remember to keep your blood pressure within normal range. And remember to keep your cholesterol levels within normal range as well. So take care of your health, and in keeping with the theme, we want to fight it back, right? And we want to win over diabetes. I thank you.
I'm sure you would like me to thank Mrs. Rainford on your behalf. She did a wonderful, a fabulous job, right, of presenting the eye and how to go about protecting it, reducing the risk of cataract and glaucoma. And in general, love your body, treat your body right, okay? Yes. Alright, that was a nice little slogan that is very catchy and you can take with you as you go throughout your daily activities. Okay, love your body right and treat your body right and etc. etc. Thank you very much. Alright.
Today we had a presentation on diabetes on the eyes